What's up, y'all, everyone? Happy 4th of July. It's your boy George the Weatherman, and today we got a system that is forming in the western Atlantic. That is might landfall in South or North Carolina. Let me explain. Sorry for the starting, but anyways, we're gonna look at the storm in Florida. This is a great state to live at. Just kidding. There's a lot of crazy things in Florida, but we got some marine warnings in here. As you know, if you want to check out weather-wise, it is free, but it's not really free because there is additional upgrade update, but we do have some special marine warnings. Anyways, we got to that max up the winds up to 34 knots, but it's just some thunderstorms, that's all. But back home, Tampa, somewhere between Winter Haven, there are some storms we have here, but it's northerly likely going towards the eastward of this whole system anyways. So we're now checking out this system that is actually stalling around the western Atlantic of the eastern coast, the north, south, and Carolinas, and the Georgia line. But so there's a system we're having is day 2 and day 7, both 60%. It will likely might become a tropical depression or a possible tropical storm. But I could just show you why it will maybe become a tropical storm. So let me show you. So we are looking at an NAM model, for example, which that model might not become true, but it's possible that we can see a lot of this convection over here. It might become a below 10,000 millibars. It would just stall around, and it will kind of strengthen it to a 999 millibar, which is kind of really moderate, kind of crazy, not crazy as you think, but as you know, we don't know where it's gonna go, so it will just stall and do like a little bit of strengthening, but it could be possibly making landfall in this east coast of South Carolina, and it could be majorly, we could see some flooding and all the rain and stuff, could mean that could be flood from rainfall always with a heavy rainfall. But right now it's gonna stall somewhere around here, around this area, from July 4th to the 5th. I'm not sure where it's gonna land at, but hopefully we get an update soon enough we get to see a tropical track anyways. But we're gonna show you what the winds are gonna be, and I think this shows knots or miles right here, as you know, but we're gonna see we're gonna see some wind on this storm, and it could potentially make landfall in like Carolina, right in the middle of the east coast of South Carolina. But we're gonna just try to see what it's doing. But right now, we're not sure if it's gonna make landfall in the North Georgia and South Carolina line, but it could make fall of South Carolina or North Carolina. So what I know, there's going to be some stalling around this strengthened area. So what we know. But anyways, what I was going to say earlier for this one, when it makes landfall in the Carolinas, see, we do have some real rotation going on at the 6th of July, 2 days before landfall, and we could see some tropical storm fourth winds possible, maybe. But the reason why I don't think it's going to make landfall in the Carolina, if possible, because we are looking at its first warning weather. We have seen some hot spots that we could see landfall for this hurricane season, but we saw Andrea in the mid-Atlantic, which is kind of normal. We've seen Beryl making landfall in the Mexico area, east of Mexico in the Gulf, and now we're gonna see Chantal making landfall in the Carolina. I'm just saying it may not be, but that's why they have these little non-hot spots, which they have the yellow in it. If you have seen it all before, or images or something. But anyways, if this comes true, this will be our first hurricane to hit home, and as we know, we're looking for a lot of crazy rotations stalling towards the eastward of the coastlines in the New England areas, and as the west coast is actually getting rainfall, just some showers and thunderstorms as we're looking at. But we do see probably like about a day or two, it looks like it could make landfall. We could see some rotation still before landfall. It could make landfall a little bit southwestern of South Carolina, it's possible. But if you're living in South Carolina by the coast of South Carolina and Georgia, just be careful watching that because it could stall, it could re-strengthen. Because sometimes if it stalls, it means it could be, how do I say this? It could be making landfall before landfall. It could strengthen before landfall. Just to give you all a heads up if you live in the coast of the state line of Georgia and South Carolina, or maybe either the state line of South and North Carolina. I'm just saying, but if you're in this area right here, or maybe South Carolina, but there is more models I can show y'all. But let's go to 60 real quick. As we know, we're still looking at a quick stall. Hold on, let's see. This is better. Possible likely tropical storm, maybe. But we see. Okay, so we're looking at here's some landfall right here. It is stalling still. What we see is some stalling, and it goes a little bit northward, and we could be some landfall. Maybe a little like sneak. Maybe I call it a scrape. You know what I'm saying, like scrape, like an ice cream cone, like you scrape it up, you know what I'm talking about. But skidding, maybe it's called. But we could be some skidding around, or could be heading towards South Carolina still, but not making a beeline on it. But as I say, from the North Carolina, be sure to watch this too, because not only us in Florida are watching this still, but even while it's stalling, it could be concerning to see where it can make landfall at. But we could see a bit of strengthening, but according to GFS, supposedly it's not really completely. We're looking for, apparently GFS, it would just be a weak system maybe, and in 0Z, it would be not likely we could see a system. Maybe it could form. We could see a 1,010 millibars. It would be a tropical depression. But I'm not going to trust that really, because if we're going to see Euromodel, it would just be some stalling. So we do see a 1012 millibar, 1,012 millibar to 10,013 millibars, but we see it's still making landfall in the Carolinas. So anyone in the Carolinas still are watching this video, please watch this storm, because there will be some rainfall, my boy. Let's go to HR, going for the weak ones. See, I would see we're here. We have today and tomorrow will be some stall. It could be, we could see a organized thunderstorms. We may see some that convection going together likely. But right now we do have some hot spots still are waiting for this whole season. What's gonna has to come? What storms can make landfall? To be honest, I know the Carolinas had never gotten hot spots, but to be honest, really, from my nail model, would you see some convection still? A lot of convection, like this right here. That area can make landfall somewhere right there. But to be honest, though, the Carolinas might be the sweet spot where we could see some sweet spots around mostly the South Carolina run models, and yeah, that's about it. I think I'm starting for a bit, but so what we're looking at actually is what could be our next name storm for at our home place for our Louisiana. That's just 0Z, that's all. But so once possible tropical storm, tropical depression, Chantal could be likely making landfall. After that, it could be our next system coming in mid to late July. So it could be a mid activity hurricane season for July. We didn't even pass July. This has been it's been 4 days, or maybe 3 days after June, and it's like the 4th, and tomorrow will be the 5th. Oh my gosh, time flies by, ladies and gentlemen. So what we have here is a lot of landfall. So we're looking for that 850 millibar. We do see some wind. Okay, we do see some strong winds. Could be a tropical force winds, maybe. I'm just saying that because it's tropical, or any system that hits there. Okay, so this will be a hot spot right here. I'm not sure what they call hotspots, because hotspots is a where they call that when it will be where it actually always hits home. But I have to say for Texas, really, I have to say for Texas, if they get another name system, they will be cooked. Because when Beryl hit, to be honest, Beryl might be the craziest storm that has been in history in last year, 2024 hurricane season, which it made landfall in by the islands, and almost destroyed Jamaica. You got Cancun, and now you went to freaking Houston. Maybe not because Houston, probably a couple miles from Houston, but yeah. But anyways, hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like, subscribe button, and I hope you enjoy. And likely there is a storm we have here. We have a 40% for day 2 days, and 80% for day 7. This will likely become a system for 2 days, I bet. But all right, guys. See you next time, y'all. Peace out.